Devotionally, wholeheartedly, single pointedly. Let us consciously salute Parabrahma, Paramatma, requesting him to reveal to us. Consciously, let us salute the Lord in all forms to equip us to be qualified. Consciously, let us salute the Guru Tattva, the Guru Parampara, our own Gurus and Acharyas, requesting them to equip us with the right knowledge. Consciously saluting our Shruti Smriti Purana Itihasa Shastra to reveal the truth for which purpose they are there. Salutations to you all, to the wonderful Jignasus, Mumukshus, Shishyas of Guru Parampara, Bhaktas of the Bhagavan, the Shrotas, the Sadhakas, the Sevakas, the Dharma Samsthapakas. Direct and simple is that whatever the world's names and forms are there, beyond that, the one common substratum, whatever the experiences we have of our own Dehendriyadi Upadhis, beyond this, one truth, one self is there, that alone is real. To be identified with that is the only way for moksha, for liberation, and also to get what we are trying to get through and fail by all other means. Means the infinitude, the unconditionalness, the limitlessness, the effortlessness, the continuous bliss, and the absence of all fears, limitations, miseries, seeking which every jiva or every living organism is trying whatever it is trying. All those things are experienced when that is reached. The study of Shastras should make us clear in this understanding. In the initial days, there will be vagueness, it is allowed. But when we are continuous, constant, incessant in our study of Shastra, slowly, steadily, when this knowledge is bombarded through our ears to our hearts, when we also do little of mananam, that should lead us to this conviction. On the basis of this, only our converting from being a samsari to be a sadhaka depends. Once this is understood, accepted that I have to discover my own essential self beyond all this upadhikruta individuality, then the direct question, direct answer. Like the Kusha having very small age, but he has seen everything around, traveled to all ashramas. Then suddenly in that Ayodhya Nagari, when he went his father with the Guru Valmiki ji, he just asks, what exactly bondage, what exactly is liberation? How clear is his question, both questions, bondage, liberation. More beautiful and clear are the answers given by the Guru, the saint, the sage, the Valmiki ji. So too, in every of the Upanishads, every of the Vedanta Shastra Granthas, this is what exactly is revealed. Truth always is revealed so conspicuously. It is we who have to be more careful with our inner equipments of understanding, preparing them properly, using them properly. Clearly, must understand what is taught to us. So, once that goal is ascertained, then second aspect is what? what we are doing whole day, to what we are giving importance, in what we are involved. Very honest thinking it is. There's no sentiment or emotion, a question, an inquiry. Then a list of the items come in front of us. These are the things in which we are involved throughout the day. Then, based on that list, next question: are these involvements of ours in conducive with our convinced goal, in line with the goal we want to reach, or opposite? There is no sentiment, it is an inquiry. Like when you are matured, how to take care of your children or the subordinates, you just call them, summon them, put questions. Direct. There's nothing. This way you are living life. Is it helpful for your education and further evolution, or it is destructive? आंखों में आंख मिलाकर, when you ask that question to the child without any sentiments, any emotions, consciously, you don't seek answer from him. He himself will find the answer, isn't it? In the same way, let us pause and introspect and question. Question not to fight with, not to object, not to do any of the thing. No, they're all ego does it, not the sadhaka does it, isn't it? Like the pure parents, not with ego, they ask the children, "Ki what you are doing, is it right or wrong?" If they do with ego, then they don't know parenting. They just ask, you just find. It is your life ultimately. Anyway, you decided as a responsibility and duty because you are born to us, not others, and you are born to us, not anybody else. Because of the responsibility, we are asking you what you are doing. Is it in line with your benefit or evolution? Nothing sentiment. In the same way, there is nothing to fight in Vedanta spirituality. Nothing even to struggle with. Just one thing only: question. Key, what have we set as our goal? Permanent or temporary? Permanent goal is set by the study of the Shastras, in which the permanent self is indicated. Everything other than is shown to be non permanent. First thing is achieved. Then the second one, as we were discussing, what we are doing throughout the day with the mind, with the intellect, with our senses, with the body, with the things that are given, beings around us, every moment what we are involved in. है ना जैसे जो इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग इन्वेस्टिगेशन एजेंसीज दे डू every movement of that person they notice, they note down, then the attitudes, the intentions, the actual doings they assess, and then they file a case. Yes, he might have done further investigations to be done, all that. Here also, nobody is there in my life. I alone am there. I only am studying Shastras under the guidance of our blessed, lucky Guru Parampara. We are lucky to have them. Then I only am, through the right understanding, setting the true self to be the goal. Then I only am asking myself, what am I doing the whole day? One day is the unit. Set one day right, every day follow that, then day by day we are evolving. As simple as that. Then to this question, after listing out what is done, when we find many of the things are contradictory, opposite to our own reaching the goal, then it's a simple common sense and wisdom. Therefore, consciously, delicately, but ruthlessly, each of those things which are contradictory to our chosen goal have to be replaced by those things which take us towards the goal. What is the difficulty in this understanding? What will be the difficulty in doing it if we are really sincere and committed for the goal? As we tell you, same example to that husband. Getting up at even 7:38, it is so difficult for him throughout the life. 8:30 only will get up. But the wife, for all those 30, 40 years, 4:35 she gets up. He is never able to get up. She is ever able to get up. What is the reason? Is her commitment for her morning routine. He has no routine. Therefore, he will never get up. And among those men, some of them who choose to go for morning exercise and walk, again, because of the goal that inspires, so he gets up even before her, gives her a cup of coffee, he also takes. You continue your homework, I'll just go and do my exercise and come. In the same way, molding ourselves from the worldliness toward the spirituality is difficult, impossible for them, those who are not fully convinced about their own higher, rightly chosen goal. Mean they have not thought, they have not understood what should be the goal, they are not convinced about it. Then only everything will pull them down. Isn't it in a political field if you see? If someone is talking about the country's economic prosperity, country's internal peace, integration, countries should stand independent, should not depend on other countries. Within it, it will be secured. From outside, also secured. Array, if someone is talking these things so strongly, means he is a committed person, convinced and committed for the service of nation. If the others are only worried about the power, worried about their own personal gains, all the emotions, all the losses and wins, if in these calculations somebody is there, it proves that he is not a Desha Bhakta. He's an ego, an embodiment of ego, identified with so many things, having so many of his own personal goals. In the same way, in our life, if the samsara is overpowering us, it means we have not sufficiently heard and contemplated on the Shastras to be able to understand and get convinced about the Lord or the self as the goal. If that goal acceptance is very strong, then our thinking that what we are doing and this is not to be done, this is to be done, all of them are effortless. And in that effort of effortlessness, whatever is to be sacrificed, the extrovertednesses, the unnecessary involvements with the things and beings. He just effortlessly, consciously, joyfully, willingly withdraws because all of that is contradictory to my sadhana. And the other things of equipping his equipments with various outer and inner sadhanas of sevas, karma yogas, upasanas, all of that fully joyfully is involved in. Like a person matured, convinced about his maintenance of health and energy and long life. Now, it is not difficult for him to give up this or that foods and take up the right type of food and do the right exercise. उनके लिए तो वो मजा आता है. That's why you see in this world some people so fond of their health, etc. So careful, so conscious. They are easily able to give up many things. Others not able to because they're not concerned about their health. Their mind is more into this temporary bhoga more than long lasting healthy life, isn't it? Same way is spirituality. So through the study of all these shastras, not thinking that our duties responsibilities over by coming to the classes, it is only a seeding, it is only a input, it is only a initiation. The real sadhana is not this 1 hour. The remaining 23 hours, what we do based on what we hear here, is called as spirituality. So then, in this way, always alert in the intellect, always alert about the goal, always alert about what to do, and while doing so, so many of the distractions happen. Always alert about avoiding those distractions till Walking on the path is pakka without any distraction, and that is taking us near to the covetable goal. And in that goal, the most subtle convictions and at our own will, we are able to anytime sit for dhyanam, and there we are able to go beyond all the upadhis and are able to try to unite with that which is inexplicable. And while doing so, well prepared in advance, that experience being very unique, other than whatever we have already, will be very frightening in the beginning because there you are all alone. Ready for it? Yeah, then go on trying. By God's grace, by Guru Krupa, when our sadhanas become fructified or fulfilled completely, then it happens. Like in any of the plant giving beautiful flowers or fruits. The God's grace, the Lord is there in the form of all the abilities and surrounding things given to that plant. Guru's grace is that Mali, whoever is pruning it, taking care of it, watering it. After this to done, the plant from within only, it goes on working with the abilities given to it, and one day that wonderful flower or the fruit, it just gets it manifests. It fulfills its life in giving that flower or the fruit. In the same way, we are blessed by the Lord, we are guided, protected by the Gurus. We took up our sadhana as said now. Once that is in its own peak fructification level, it just fructifies in revealing it to us. In the process itself, the gross, subtle things which were given so much value, importance, reality will remain, but the importance given to them, reality given to them gets reduced. This is a sign. The sign of spiritual growth is always in the search of the self, not valuing the outer grass, not valuing the inner subtle. Outer grass is the things and beings. Inner thought, so subtle are the thoughts and emotions and cravings. These are all just delusions. These are all like the spoiled child throws tantrums every moment for no reason. So, untrained, misguided antakarana throwing all the tantrums in the form of projections, thoughts, and emotions, etc. Value it, it becomes more terrible. Just leave it, itself becomes quiet. So, he knows it. The real sadhaka catches this matured point. Then he just allows it to do that. After that, उसको कोई attend नहीं कर रहा, so he keeps quiet. It is a sign that we are growing in spirituality. We only spoil our outer life and we are worried about it. We only spoil about our own mind and we are worried about it. These are all the works of the immature person who has not set the inner self as the goal. And as we just gave the example, the one who is truly dedicated for the service of the nation, he'll not be bothered about paltry things of the opposition parties or within the party, the things. He just will not give that much value. सॉल्व करने के लिए जो करना है उसी पे दृष्टि होगा. More than that, और जो हाथ में नहीं है, he cannot be worried. You see in that Mizoram and Telangana, when the party has lost, there is nothing to be worried. It is not in our hands. जो हाथ में है उस पे ध्यान दो. That dignity, that maturity. So let us all this way dedicate ourselves for our own spiritual evolution. Most important part of it is Nirantara Shastra Shravanam. Added to that is our own efforts at our own level. They are also continuous. थक गए तो सो गए, रेस्ट मिल गया, वह साधना कर रहे. Other than these two, there is no third thing, which all of them are temporary and in the infinite time they're all meaningless. Let us not value them with understanding, with maturity. Whenever we are caught up in any of our inner negativities, weaknesses, To get rid of them, we give value to the world outside to serve that world so that the inner impurities, disturbances go away. Once through those outer attention services, inner purity is gained, then we have neither work with the outer nor with the inner. Our attention is only on our innermost self. So may the Guru Parampara, the Lord, bless us to deepen our seeking of the self within, to strengthen and make clear our knowledge, and inspire us to be in that path all the time, on the path all the time. Let nothing weaken us, nothing distract us, nothing impoverish us, nothing should weaken us, demoralize us. Let no those negativities come near us. On the other hand, the positive inspirations, blessings be seen by us all through, sent by the divinity, that we are on the correct path. Om, Om, Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsa Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. Om Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Bhishaje Bhavaroginam Gurave Sarvalokanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram. Om Viditanamaya Vishadaikakala न च किञ्चन काञ्चनमस्ति गुरो द्रुतमेव विदेहि कृपां सहजां भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्. ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि. परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्म विद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः. श्री ऐतरेय उपनिषद आचार्येभ्यो नमः. श्री वेदव्यास महर्षये ऐतरेय महर्षये आद्यशंकर महर्षये नमः. अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव अनुभवसिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकहैन्दवसंस्कृतेः साधनानां शास्त्राणां वेदान्तज्ञानानां भक्तियोगादीनां समस्तप्रक्रियाणां गुरुशिष्यभक्तभगवत्परम्परायाः पुनरुत्थानजागरणसमस्तविश्वव्याप्तिद्वारा अतिशीघ्रगतिना विश्व आध्यात्मिकप्रगति शान्ति एकता पुरोभिवृद्ध्यर्थम् अस्मिन् धर्मसंस्थापनकार्ये कङ्कणबद्ध समस्तधर्मसंस्थापकानाम् अस्माकं सह समस्त आचार्याणां गुरूणां संस्थानां समस्तभक्तादिजिज्ञासु आदिश्रेयोभिलाषिणां पूर्णायुरारोग्यैश्वर्य क्षेमस्थैर्यादि समस्त शक्ति संपदा सानुकूल्यता साधनानां प्राप्ति बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रु विघ्न निर्मूलन द्वारा धर्म संस्थापन कार्ये दिग्विजयार्थम श्री ऋग्वेदांतर्गत ऐतरेय उपनिषदः आद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनस्य प्रयत्नं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे. ओम मनस्तापतमः शान्त्यै यस्य पादनखच्छटा शरदिन्दुनिभाभाते तं वन्दे नीलचिन्मणिम्. ओमत श्रीऋग्वेदान्तर्गत ऐतरेयारण्यकान्तर्गत ऐतरेय उपनिषद शान्तिमन्त्रः. ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य माणीस्त श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः. अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्ददामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवत्ववतु मामवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. ओम अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः। ओम पुरुषे नो वी आर डूइंग इट दि द्वितीय खंडः। ता एताः देवताः सृष्टाः अस्मिन् महत्यर्णवे प्रापतन्तम् अशनाय प्रापतन् तम् अशनाय पिपासाभ्याम् अन्ववार्जतो ता एनमब्रुवन् आयतनं नः प्रजानीहि यस्मिन् प्रतिष्ठिताः अन्नम् अदाम इति ताभ्यो गाम् आनयत् ता अब्रुवन् न वै नोऽयमलमिति ताभ्यः अश्वमानयत् ता अब्रुवन् न वै नोऽयमलमिति ताभ्यः पुरुषमानयत् ता अब्रुवन् सुकृतं बत इति पुरुषो वाव सुकृतं ता अब्रवीत् यथा आयतनं प्रविशत इति अग्निर्वाग् भूत्वा मुखं प्राविशद वायुः प्राणो भूत्वा नासिके प्राविशद आदित्यः चक्षुर्भूत्वा अक्षिणे प्राविशद दिशः श्रोत्रं भूत्वा कर्णो प्राविशन् ओषधि वनस्पतयो लोमानि भूत्वा त्वचं प्राविशन् चन्द्रमा मनो भूत्वा हृदयं प्राविशत मृत्युरपानो भूत्वा नाभिं प्राविशद आपोरेतो भूत्वा शिश्नं प्राविशन् तम् अशनाया पिपासे अब्रूताम् आवाभ्याम् अभिप्रजानीहि इति ते अब्रवीत् तासु एव वां देवतासु आभजामि एतासु भागिन्यौ करोमि इति तस्मात् यस्यैकस्यै च देवतायै हविर्गृह्यते भागिन्यौ एव अस्याम् अशनाया पिपासे भवतः। ओम शांतिः शांतिः शांतिः। Friends, we are into the study of the last portion of this beautiful introductory bhashya to the second adhyaya. In that, what the beautiful thing we have to now repeatedly discuss is this one. Mhm. Wonderful thought. If it clicks to us, we are so lucky. It is in the last but two paragraph, wherein Bhashya Anitya Drushti Upadi Vashat tu Lokasya Tarkikanam cha Agama Sampradaya Varjitatvat Anitya Atmanah Drushti iti Bhranti Upapanna Eva. Try to catch. Ki Bahya extroverted, Anitya the Upadi dependent, Drushti. So Bahya Anitya Drushti. They have the Drushti external which is Anitya. Why? Because Upadi Vashat. Means they are under the influence of upadhi. Therefore, what upadhi is present to them, that alone they are habituated to take as reality, and the upadhis as the authority to such people. Bahya anitya drushti upadhi vashat. They are in the vasha. Whenever we are in the vasha on something, under something, we cannot think beyond it. We are lost in its influence. So for many lives, our drishti is depending on the indriyas outward, and all these drishtis are anitya drishtis, which is proved. Anitya drishti means all the information, knowledge gained from them is not continuous, constant, because the outer situations are changing, upadhis also are changing. To such people, Bahya Anitya Drishti Upadhi Vashat, Lokasya for the general people, and Tarkikanam, even those who use the Tarka to say that so conspicuously the outer perceptions are happening, why not the outer world is real? So this type of tarka karne walon ka, and the next line is very essential. Don't miss it. What is the another shortcoming in them? Not only they are under the Vashya or influence or slavery to the Upadhis, the second very important problem mistake with this common Laukika people as well as Tarkikas is कि Agama Sampradaya Varjitatvat. They are totally away from the Agama Sampradaya. Means studying the Shastras and giving authority to the Shastras, believing what is said by the Shastra is correct. It is we who, with our contemplation, coming to the understanding of what is said by Shastra as right. It is we who, through meditation, have to experience what is said by the Shastra as right. These Sampradaya, these people don't have. They use their logic. They use their outer experiences that are happening. But what is happening in the world outside, what intellect can think based on it, not authorities. They're very gross they are. Whereas the Lord Himself, right from the beginning of creation, has expressed as the Agama or the Shastra. And that Jnanam given in that Shastra is the final authority. And that Sampradana of the Shastra Jnana and seeing the whole outer and inner life according to the Shastra Jnana is going on happening. These people have missed to be in that Agama Sampradana Paddhati. Therefore, the authority of the Shastra they don't believe. Like if you some a foreigner, if you tell our Krishna has said like this in Gita and Bhagavata, they don't believe. Why should I believe your Krishna says? Because they are not born in Hinduism, they are not cultured and trained this way, so they don't know all this. Therefore, उनको ऐसे ही कहना होता है. This is the thing to be underlined. तो ऐसे लोगों से बचना, ऐसे विचारों से बचना, जो आगम संप्रदायों को छोड़कर इंडिपेंडेंटली सोचना चाहता है. If somebody is thinking independently and if it is in line with the Agama, it is okay. If not so, then not okay. So, Agama Sampradaya Varjitatvat, because of these two reasons. They are slaves to believe that what senses present alone is ultimate and they don't have the authority of the Shastras. Because of these two reasons, Anitya Atmanaha Društihiti Bhrantihi Upavanna Eva. They take all the anitya drishtis of the upadhis to be that of the Atma. Therefore, they talk about the Atma to be this anitya drishti wala. The anitya drishti means temporary experiences and perceptions of the world depending on the conditioning of the upadhis. The real drishti of the Atma is nitya drishti. What is the nitya drishti of the Atmana? Being pure, aware and conscious in the presence and absence of all these three avasthas and within those avasthas, whatever is happening. That understanding is called the nitya drishtitva of the self. They have totally given up this subtle inquiry at all, completely. They're not even coming this side to discuss about it. He's not ready to answer the question. Do you know your Jagrat coming, going? Yeah. Swapna coming, going? Yeah. Nidra coming, going? So how can you know all the three? Only when you are there in the Nitya Drushti. In the Nitya Drushti, the Drushti is Nitya and whatever is seen by this Nitya Drushti is not affecting this Darshaka or the Drushti. Then only I am able to see all of them arriving, departing. So this is the problem with them. Such people alone, because of these upadhis, they maintain the Jiva Jiva Bheda. They also maintain the Jiva Ishvara Bheda. And they also talk about Ishvara as if he is not that self or the Atman or the Brahman. That's what he says next line में जीव ईश्वर परमात्मा भेद कल्पना च एतत् निमित्ता एव. This was a question of the Purva Pakshi. There are three Atmas. There are no three Atmas, only one pure Atma is there. Because of the Upadhi Drushti, they made the Atma into three. One is the Samashti Upadhi, they call as Ishvara. The Vyashti Upadhi, they call as Jiva. And the Nirupadhika as Atma. The Nirupadhika Atma alone is real. That is where we have to reach. The other two, Sopadhika Jiva, I am experiencing today, which I have to get rid of. The another Upadi, the Ishvara with Samashti Upadi, I have to take the help of him. I should not get stuck up there also. Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi na idam yad idam upasate. Isn't it? See the evening class. The chanting of the Rubhu Gita, is it not answering all this? Today तो इतना मजाक हंसी मजा होगा. Every sadhana what we are doing, that Rupuji rejects all of them as if none of them are real. But the fortunate thing is, he doesn't stop in rejecting everything. He says only one Parabrahma is there. From that standpoint, other than him, none of these are there. So these all are there at relative level, sadhana level. Clear all relative responsibilities and practice all sadhanas. And when you are at the portal level, at the entrance level, all these sadhanas which are like the chapel, you leave outside, enter into the identity with the Brahman, in whom none of these are there, he alone is there. The very last text to be studied and practiced is that Rupa Gita. Before that, at relative level, sadhana level, it's okay. बट साधना के लेवल में साधना में करना, लेकिन वी कैनॉट मेक दोज ideas or the understandings as final at the cost of the pure self, isn't it? Therefore, jiva ishvara atma bheda kalpana, jiva ishvara paramatma bheda kalpana cha etat nimitta eva. Okay, because of this bahya drushti, more important than that, agama sampradana, they are not following. Now comes the beautiful thing, which we have seen yesterday, day before, but I felt it was not sufficient justification done to this topic, which is the most important, not only in the context of connection to the next point, not only in the context of the summary of the earlier one, but this is the summary, the gist, the synopsis of main point what you have to catch. The main point is this: those who don't have the Shastra Sampradana, and those who are habituated and slaves to visualize everything through the upadhis, to them the Shastrokta Brahman, which is one without second, which is beyond all upadhi, is not easily catchable, acceptable, understandable. You don't get trapped in that. In all this discussion, the highest and most important is Agama Sampradana, means according to our Vedanta Shruti Mata, what is said about the absolute reality, that alone, whether we understand or not, experience or not, do sadhana or not, has to be accepted. Then we are safe. Left that support of the Agama, we are flown in the logic of the intellect, perceptions of sense organs, and into the trap of delusion. So quickly we fall, like we are actually in that one. That is Bhagavan Adi Shankara's contribution, isn't it? If that's not the case, why Shankara writes so many Shastras, Bhashyas? Why Bhagwan comes in the form of Vedavyasa and does the giving of Shastras? Why Sri Rama also gives the Jnana Upadesha, which is a Shastra? Why Krishna Bhagwan also gives Shastra like Gita and Bhagavatam, all that knowledge? शास्त्र ही हमारे लिए अथॉरिटी है, शास्त्र विरुद्ध नहीं चलना. Shastram, though it talks about Jiva and his bondage, though it talks about the Ishvara and the need of the Upasana, final point of the Shastra is Ekameva Dvayam Brahma Naiha Nana Asti. Without compromising this Ekameva Dvayam Brahma, and it has the goal. At the sadhana kala, Jiva Upadhi, Ishvara Upadhi, take the help of the Ishvara, live in this world with dharma, with values. All of them are relatively, for the sake of sadhana, they are all allowed, not beyond. Now, the next line, which we saw yesterday, day before, but I didn't feel satisfied that it was conveyed. Once more, we are seeing what is said is Tathacha. Tathacha means, and also the other important point is what? The answer is no. Asti nasti iti adhyahacha yavanta vangmanasayoho bhedaha. Yavantaha, as many as Bhedas, the differences established by the Vak, the speech, the Mana, concept of the mind. So the mind intellects concepts, the speech of the mind mouth establishes so many Vedas. For example, in asti, nasti, etc. etc. बाकी भेद आगे बताएंगे. All of these Vedas, which are projections of the speech of the mouth, concepts of the mind, yavantaha, whatever they are, all of them, yatra ekam bhavanti. Underline this word. That Parabrahman, that Paramatma, in whom all of them get dissolved. Because supported by Parabrahma alone, in the absence of the knowledge of that Parabrahman alone, on the Parabrahma alone, these are projected. The asti nasti, they are the Vedas by the mind and by the speech. Therefore, from whatever they are projected, into that only they have to dissolve. Yatra ekam bhavanti. Like all the births and deaths of all the waves and ripples, bubbles become one in the ocean from where they are projected. So, yatra ekam bhavanti, Hmm. Tad Vishayayaha, and that pure Brahman, which is Nityayaha, which is eternal, immutable, Drustehe, of its Drushti, Nirvisheshaha, which has got no Vishesha. Of that Brahman, which is eternal, whose Drushti has no Vishesha, means pure consciousness. That consciousness is not become the consciousness of something like of the buddhi and mana to be contaminated by the conceptualization of the buddhi, the projection or imagination or sentiments of the mind, and naturally the perceptional ability of the senses. ऐसा नहीं बना हुआ तो प्योर निर्विशेष ज्ञप्ति स्वरूपता है of the Paramatma. Be attentive. On that Paramatma, now the listed 10 12 pairs of opposite are projected by those Laukikas, those Tarkikas, those who don't have the Vedanta Shastra Sampradhanam, means following strictly the Vedanta Shastra given jnana, means Upanishadic jnana. Upanishad is final authority. Now, what can be done? And therefore, the examples. Such people, they're thinking about trying to establish the three Atmas, trying to substantiate the multiplicity, etc. And then, through that, wanting to get the moksha is like they want to fold the entire sky and put under their hands. They want to look for the footprints of the fishes in the water, the birds in the sky, and they just want to climb to the Akasha as they climb to the second floor through the stairs or through the ladder. As it is impossible, so it is impossible for them to get the moksha by denying Ekameva Dvayam Brahma authorized by the Upanishads and trying to live or living life only at the Upadhi level and using all their stupid logic only to substantiate that what they are perceiving through the faculties. To such people, the Atma Jnana, Atma Dhyana, Atma Anubhava is as impossible as folding and keeping the whole sky like a charma or any deer skin or any chatai. See the clarity. How many times this thought has to be heard by us for the clear understanding. तो इसी को in our next Upanishad, Shvetashvatara में, they give it in a different manner. Here what he said is, Charmavad, like a skin on which they were sitting and meditating. After the session is over, they fold it and put it and go somewhere. The sadhus and yes. In that way, they want to fold the whole Akasha and put it under them. No, इसको कर सकते हो जैसा उसी को कर सकते हो क्या? Same way, with sense organs we can see the world. With the concepts of the mind, we can have some emotions, understanding. With these faculties, trying to understand the self and not able to understand, therefore the rejection of the self is like trying to fold the Akasha and not able to do so, therefore rejecting that there is nothing called as Akash. For this, in the Shvetashvatara, this example is given for this beautiful thing. He says, Yada charmavadakasham veshtayishyanti manavaha tada devam avijnaya naro bandhat pramuchyate. As it is impossible for folding the sky and putting in your control, so too Devam Avijnaya, without knowing the Supreme Brahman, Naraha Bandhat Pramuchyate. Nobody, it is impossible for the Jiva or the Nara to get liberated. Just like it is impossible to fold the sky, in the same way it is impossible to get the moksha without Devam Avijnaya, discovering the pure Brahmana aparokshanubhutena bhutina. Without having the aparokshanubhuti of Paramatma, we cannot get liberated. Just like we cannot fold the sky and hold it. है ना यदा चरमवदाकाशम वेशिष्टन्ति मानवाः तदा देवम अभिज्ञाय नरो बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते. So, what are those two pairs of opposite which are superimposed on the self by the conceptualizing intellectual Tarkikas and the Laukikas who's fully engrossed in seeing the world only through the senses? Yesterday we told you in one of the class the reality given to the world by us because we see them through senses and mind. Rather, the senses and mind also are the part of the delusion only. For that, we gave example yesterday. The whole reality of the dream we see is through the mind and senses of the dream world, which themselves are delusion. वो भी इस waking mind के ऊपर projected ही है ना, all those faculties of the dreamer in the dream. With those things taken as real, he is seeing the world and considering it as real. In the same way, the delusory projected upadhis we are using, through that we see the world and we say the world is real. It is like any egoistic fellow with limited knowledge. He conceives something and says that this alone is right. I don't want to compromise with this. But that higher thing is there to understand. I don't know. I don't want to listen. Now, these pairs of opposite, which are never ever there in the pure Brahman, are abundantly again and again repeatedly told in our Rubhu Gita Shastra chanting, which we saw yesterday, day before. How wonderful! Next to 15 to 18 or 20 chapters are only talking about this thing again and again. And unless thoroughly we do that, na, the unnecessary undue value given to everything other than Brahman can't be reduced. Without that, the calmness, quietness of the Antakarana cannot come. Without the peaceful, calm Antakarana, consciously we not go beyond the upadhis to see that sublime self. That alone gives moksha, which are not for everyone, anyone who are in the worldliness. You and I, because committed to the Shastra Dhenam, blessed by the Guru and Shastra, for us, these all knowledges are important, valid, to be gained, to be practiced. So, on this pure self, in whom all the projected concepts of asti, nasti, ityadi by the speech and mind get dissolved on that self. These pairs of opposite are projected only by the Laukikas and Tarkikas and then Shastra Asampradaya Vadins. Those who never follow the Shastra Parampara. What are the things? So, ki yatra ekam bhavanti tad vishayayaha nityayaha drustehe, of that pure self which is eternal, therefore whose drushti also is eternal, and he is nirvishesha. That drushti is nirvishesha. It's a pure consciousness. It's not caught up in the web of the thoughts of the mind, etc. On that pure consciousness, concept of asti, concept of nasti. Now, this all which is said here are the variety of the vadas which were opposing to the Ekameva Advayam Vada, the Ekameva Advayam Brahma, that Advaita Vada of the Vedanta, the Upanishads. Whoever the variety of the philosophers talked about the Advaita Brahma as it is not there, all of them were sufficiently rejected or defeated by Bhagavan Adishankara. Those other philosophers other than Advaita Vedanta are the ones who talk like this. And all of that is their projection only. Now, each of these, like Asti Nasti, Kon Kehte Hain, one type of philosophers because of some of their seeing. They just get caught up at one perception or concept of the intellect. They don't want to leave it. L-I-V, sorry. When you don't leave, no, some concept, you cannot see something beyond that. So somebody caught up in asti and nasti. Somebody say ekam and another say nana. Both are projection only. Gunavatu, somebody say agunam, the another one says janati, somebody say najanati, another say kriyavad, somebody says akriyavan, another say phalavad, giver of result, afalavad, another say sabijam, somebody says nirbijam, another कहते हैं it is of the sukha swarupa और कोई कहते हैं दुख करके दूसरे कहते हैं मध्यम, somebody says amadhyamam. इसमें all the Bauddhas, both vadins of them, Jainas, both Vadins of them, pure Charvakas, their Vada, then the Vaisheshikas, the Sankyans, the Nyaya, the Purva Mimamsa, the Karma Kandin, all of them are these type of people only who talk about the self as this. They are not accepting the Shruti Mata's the final saying, Ekameva Dvayam Brahma. They use various logics. The beauty of the Paramatma is it is neither established by logic nor it can be denied by the logic. They conceptualize self in their own way by yielding to the logic of the intellect. Isn't it? Naisha tarkena madhirapaneya prokta nyenaiva sugnanaya preshta. This pure self cannot be understood by any tarka. Only Shastra authority, faith in the Guru Vakya, suddenly that intuitive power inside comes to believe it and to do sadhana and experience it. It is something unique. Through any means you try to conceptualize, it won't. But when you develop the intuitive power, blessed by our purity of the heart to seek the truth, blessed by the Guru and Ishwar Paramatma Shakti, because our upasana to them, that these things are understood. And in that Brahman, neither you nor Ishvara nor Jiva nor Guru finally. Cannot be because it is Ekameva Dvayam Brahma. Every Dvaya or Dvaita is not real. It is projected on it. It is the reality is one without second. So that is what is said here. Sabijam, Nirbijam, Sukham, Dukkham, Madhyam, Amadhyam, Shunyam, Ashunyam, Paraha, it is something other than me, Aham, it is me, Itiva. In this way, now listen next sentence. Sarva Vak Pratyaya Agochare. That pure self which cannot be gochara, conditioned, limited by the speech or definition of the mouth, concept of the intellect, and swarupe, that which is our own essential nature, all above the links. Yaha vikalpaitum ichyati. The one is trying to project so many vikalpas on that self. Such person saha nunam indeed come api charmavat vestaitum ichyati. He wants to fold the sky like the chattai or any skin. So to sopanam ivacha padbhyam arodhum. The same space he want to climb with the steps with the feet as he was climbing the stairs. So jale kecha, in the water also, in the space also. Meenanam vayasamcha padam nitrukshate, of the fishes and of the birds. He wants to see the footprints. So it is not possible. That is why the Shruti authority. What is Shruti authority? Finally, Shruti says the Brahman cannot be conceptualized by any intellect. He is to be experienced aparoksha rupena. To experience that Brahman as aparoksha rupa, everything which is paroksha has to be rejected. That rejecting sadhana is said by the two words neti 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 neti. Neti neti. Another one, yato vacho nivartante. That point having tried to reach which the Vani and mind return. Then ityadi shrutibhyaha. This shastra. So to ko adha veda, who is the one who is dared able to know that Parabrahman? Nobody can. Isn't it? Brahman is not an object of knowledge. Like the river cannot know the ocean, river can become one with the ocean. Understood? So too, no concept of intellect or the Vani can define the self, but all of them can merge to become one with the self. So I can't know the God, I can be the God. Therefore, nobody can know and nobody can tell Paramatma. All the tellings are only to get the understandings, to direct our attention on the seat of meditation, to merge in that Paramatma. See these two things. Maya cannot be spoken, but we can get lost in it. So to Paramatma cannot be spoken, but we can merge in Him to get liberated from all the Jiva Dehadi Upadis. So Ko Adha Veda, which persons, which intellect, which Shastra, which thing can talk about that Lord? Nothing. Only the Vedanta Advaita Shastras, they alone are the authority. With the authority, when you reach that experience, there the Vedas are not required. Tatra Veda Aveda Bhavanti. But again, to describe the same self, no other way than again, same the Vedanta Shastras. In that way, what is to be understood is the self is such an eternal drashta. He can be authorized or understood with the authority of the Shastra only. And with the Shastrokta sadhana, we have to experience him and get liberated. Any other people conceptualize self to be in any manner because of their intellectual, actual genius or the logic. Or others who talk that the self is multiple because they are using the upadhis, don't trust them. They are all at the lower level of understanding. This is what it is. Now, the next discussion is Katham tarhi tasya saha me atma iti vedanam. Then how that is my own self, I can know it. Or bruhi kena prakarena tam aham saha me atma iti vidya. Both justify when the Shastra ordered that that self is you, you come to know. So the शास्त्र का ये बात को आप जवाब दो जब शास्त्र ने कहा उस आत्मा को अपने रूप में जानो. सेकंड क्वेश्चन इज सेम रिलेटेड बट इंडिविजुअल साधना के दृष्टि से ब्रूही प्लीज टेल मी हे गुरु ए सिद्धांति पूर्व पक्षी सेइंग केन प्रकारेण by what means our sadhana tam aham that pure brahman me sahame atma iti is my own self vidyam I can come to know. Now for this story was told. In that story, toward the end, what is indicated is follow again the Upanishad, what they say, by rejecting with the words of neti, 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 reach to the point which cannot be rejected, then this is the way only. Upanishad Ukta Rupena only we can accept the Paramatma. That way, Upanishad becomes authority. And in the Upanishad said way only we do sadhana to reach to that anubhuti. And the example ki tarah, the self can never be indicated or understood. It is only by rejecting the not self it is experienced. Therefore, on the seat of meditation, just keep on rejecting till the non-rejectable state of being we reach to. Now, these things will become heavy, ununderstandable in the beginning, but 2 3 years regularly. Only to this highest level of the Upanishads or the Brahma Sutras or the Bhashyas keep on exposing, then that capacity to hold on to this knowledge with faith comes. Then doing as said, that also difficult in the beginning, but again Ishvara Guru Krupa makes us do it. Once we are on that path, like in the beginning, the father or mother or friend, they support us while driving or learning driving of cycle or scooter. After that, you are independent. You drive, you reach destination. The same way, Guru and Paramatma and Shastra in the beginning drive us. Thereafter, I, my only Shastra, like when I go all alone to my Himalayan region for my own enjoyment, I take my vehicle, I take the road map, just pour the petrol in the vehicle, keep on moving. बस उसको देखते गए पहुंच गए. Nobody is required. That is a real Tirtha Yatra. Earlier, even the map is not there, only the movement of the sun and the Dhruvatara, that was enough in which direction they are. They used to go all alone. Not required, I know where to go, how to go, I'll go. Same way, Guru taught me his work is over. Shruti Mata taught me, but she is with me. I refer to her, and I am the one working. One day I reach. So, this all is said in this story. Very beautiful story. Atra आख्यायिकाम achakshate. Hmm. No, this paragraph I just want to very, very important it is. I believe one more day is required. Today आख्यायिका को बताएंगे 2-4 मिनट में. Then the essence out of that आख्यायिका, only 4-5 thoughts, but very gambhira. We will with fresh mind tomorrow. We listen, conclude this, and again begin our second khand, our second adhyaya of what is said in the initial days, initial place key. He has got the three places to stay. Basing on that only, the three avasthas with which a jiva goes through as a samsari suffers when it doesn't have the Vedantic jnana and sadhana and moksha. They are indicated. The three garbhas, three janmas only are like what Adi Shankara Bhagwan was telling us in the Shiva Parada Kshabapada Stotram, ki Adau Karma Prasangat, exactly like this. Having known these things, when we get Vairagya to continue as Jiva, then the desire to be the self, when it becomes stronger, then the Upanishadukta Neti Neti can be done in a solitude. In that final status of Neti Neti, we discover ourselves with that experience again, which cannot be communicated to others. मजा आएगा. Every seeker thought that this guru is not correctly explaining to me the self. Let me reach the self. When I experience it, मैं तो इनसे अच्छी तरह से सबको समझाऊं. And whoever reached, he became benumbed. He became silenced. He just lost the concepts of the intellect, logics of the intellect, the words of the speech to talk about that experience. Then, when he struggled, what words came out of his mouth, what thoughts came out of his intellect are already those which were said by all the rishis in all the Upanishads. More than that, there's no way it can be explained. This is how it is. So, what is the story in short? Ki atra akhyayikam achakshate. In this regard, a story is very interesting. Let me share with you. Ki kashchit kale at some time, manushyaha, kashchit kila, some human being, manushyaha, a human being who sometime mugdaha, is generally in a confused, deluded state. Then Kaishchiduktaha, said by someone, Kasminchid aparade sati, because he has done a papa or aparada, Diktvam nasi manushya. धिक्कारो तुम्हारा तुम मनुष्य नहीं हो. Then what happened to him? Kisa mugdataya. He got deluded. Then atmana manushyattvam pratyayitum. To get confirmed again. Ki, am I real? Because he was thinking as Manusha earlier. But this person with full authority said, you are not a human being. No, he got a confusion. That is a mugdata. Mugda means moha. He is deluded. Am I human or not? So to get confirmed again, am I human or not? He went to someone. He told the story. This was done by me, and that man said, I am not a human being. अब बताओ मुझे मैं मनुष्य हूँ कि नहीं हूँ मैं और क्या हूँ. That man understood this fellow is deluded. Then how to convey to him? Okay. कैश्चिदुक्तः कस्मित् अपराधे सति धिक्त्वां नासि मनुष्य इति स मुग्धतया आत्मनः मनुष्यत्वं प्रत्यायितुं कञ्चिदुपेत्य आह. Reached to somebody and asked, Bravitu Bhavan Kohamasmi iti. You tell me, who am I? Am I a man or human being or not? Satasya Mugdatam Gnatva. He understood this one is deluded. He has got doubt on himself whether he is a man or not. Somebody said you are not human being. Does it mean you will become somebody else or what? But he is deluded. So too, the upadhis, the our vyavaharas, equally ignorant people like us, and the logicians, etc., they all say you are not Brahman and you are Jiva and you are upadhis. बस मानने लगे हम उनको. Then how to teach him? Kramena bodhishyami iti. He thought, chalo, step by step, let me explain to him. Then he brought a blade of grass. Then he showed it. This is not you. Stavaradi Atma Bhava Bhavam Apohya. So he brought a blade of grass, he brought a fruit or a flower. Every other thing he was bringing and telling, you are not that, you are not that, you are not that. Finally, what is the beautiful sentence? This is where the crux of it. You are not anything which is not Manushya. Sentence is what? Na tvam amanushyaha iti uktva upararama. You are not the not human being. You are not anything other than the human being. It is said. Na tvam amanushyaha iti uktva upararama. Now, when so certainly it is said, in the way it can be said, because of the status of delusion this person has in, even after every of the thing is told, like Gaz Kablet, it is not you, this is not you, this is not you, everything he said rejected. So therefore you are not a Manushya. Means you are not anything other than the human being. What it should lead to. Therefore certainly you are human being. But this fellow, because of his delusion, and he is in the delusion of that man saying that my Manushya nahi hu, not believing this person's technique of trying his own self. He says, Saha tam mugdha pratyaha, to that person who gave answer, this deluded fellow said, Bhavan mam bodhaitum pravruttaha. You were starting to tell me, educate me, who am I? Then tushtim babuva, you have just kept quiet. और बताओ मैं कौन हूँ, मनुष्य हूँ कि नहीं? हाँ, प्रवृत्ता तुष्टिम बभुव किम न बोधयति इति. Still you have kept quiet without telling me who am I. बताओ. देखो, every Upanishad is this way only concludes the conclusion which appears to be inconclusive for the deluded person. Why it is inconclusive? For two reasons. From the point of the listener is what he want to understand it as a concept. From the point of the teacher is what it is experiential. It cannot be concluded as an intellectual concept. It cannot be explained. It cannot be shown. हमको क्या आदत है, जो बात बुद्धि में समझ में आती है, जिसको हम मुंह से बोल सकते हैं, वही करेक्ट है, वही ज्ञान है. इन दिस बेवकूफी वी आर इन. दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ बाह्य अनित्य दृष्टि स्लेवरी. Slavery to the drushti of the extrovertedness through the senses and intellect. That only through mind and intellect and senses, when it is clearly explained or shown, that we accept it to be. If there doesn't come under the purview of these, we don't accept its presence. That conditioning we are in. Whereas the self is beyond all that. And unless you drop them, you can't reach. And you're not dropping these things and trying to catch the self with the same things with which it cannot be got. This is a struggle every seeker goes through. And one day suddenly it clicks by Guru Krupa and our Shraddha in Shruti Vakya. Then we also laugh at, अरे इतना easy था, वो इसको छोड़ने की बात थी, पकड़ के सॉल्व करने का नहीं था, छोड़ दिया तो suddenly he has clarity आ गया उनको what's meditation. In that he just goes on doing what's said by Shastra, Neti Neti, every day is Neti Neti, Neti Neti, not this, not this. Finally one day that Soham experience comes. Soham is not like Neti Neti. Neti Neti is an effort. Soham is an experience. That is me. Saha Aham Asmi. Oh, that's me. Again and again, when you listen these things, na, that abstractness, the confusion, the inability to understand, they're all removed by, oh, this is what is the reality, clear understanding. Understanding means not again forming the opinion about it, not a conceptualizing. Oh, it is what? This is the way the self has to be understood and meditated and realized. Then do that, there we are. Then Tadrugeva Tadbhavataha Tadbhavati Vachanam. Tadbhavata Vachanam. Your stupid sentence also is like that. That everything is told and he thinks that it is not told. Then na asya manushya iti ukte api na asi amanushya iti ukte api. You are not human being. Even he being said like that, manushyattvam atmana nati praptate. If he doesn't understand him to be the atman manushya, yaha sa katam manushya asi iti ukta api manushyattvam atmana pratipadyata. When he is told that you are not human being, if he is not able to understand that he is human being, if directly told that you are human being, will he accept? He will not accept. What is the subtle meaning of it? Tomorrow we will see. The hint of it is what? Ki the Tattva Jnana is not given Pratyakshena. It is given Parokshena eva. The Parokshata is here. You are not non-human being. It's a Paroksha way of teaching. Listening to that, this fellow should have the Pratyaksha Anubhuti. So I am not anything other than human being. Therefore, what is left? Manusha only. Therefore, I am Manusha. In the same way, Vedanta mein Paroksha Rupena only is Brahman said by rejecting everything, everything, everything. And therefore, that state of being which cannot be rejected or objectified or conceptualized or visualized with the faculties, that is me. This is the way. This is the only way it can be taught. Therefore, the logicians' illogicity and the Bhashya Laukikas, their limitations, rejected, then the Upanishadic authority alone is conveyed to us. In that also, this is how the Paramatma is realized. Here, now after this example is given, 6-7 quotations are given to prove this. Then the last para में the gist and essence summary भगवान शंकर देते ना, बहुत मजेदार, बहुत जरूरी है. Very, very essential. These are all the crucial topics of Vedanta to catch. That's why I'm taking time for me to study or explain and all that. कल के दिन हम वो करेंगे. Then we'll enter into second अध्यायम. ओम 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 पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो परमर्षिभ्यो परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे नमः. तत्सत्. ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु.